Real haunted places in the USA are not famous because of tourists. They are famous because of what people don't want to talk about. This story comes from a place in Ohio that most people have heard of, but few truly understand. A hospital. Old. Abandoned. The kind of place where the air feels thick and heavy. Like the building itself remembers every death. A group of urban explorers decided to go inside one night. They were young, confident, and eager to prove they weren't afraid of anything. They entered through a broken side door and moved carefully through dark hallways. Their flashlights cut through the black, revealing peeling paint, rusted beds, and old medical equipment left behind like forgotten bones. They found a stairwell and climbed to the upper floors. The air was colder there. The building was silent, but not empty. It felt like the silence was watching them. They reached a long hallway with rooms on both sides. One room at the end of the hall had a door slightly open. The explorers stopped. They could feel the difference in the air. One of them pushed the door open. Inside was a patient room. The bed was still made. A small chair sat in the corner, and on the wall, scratched into the paint, was a message. "Don't look behind you." They laughed at first. A joke. Someone trying to scare them. Then the flashlight in the room flickered. The air changed. The hallway behind them grew darker, deeper. A soft sound came from the corner of the room. A child's laugh. The explorers froze. They turned slowly. Nothing. Then, a whisper. From behind the bed, "Why are you here?" The group started to panic. One of them ran for the door. The others followed. But the hallways seemed longer than before. The building didn't behave like a normal place. It felt like the floor was stretching, trying to keep them inside. They finally made it to the stairs. As they descended, they heard footsteps above them. Slow, heavy, not their own. The sound followed them. When they reached the ground floor, the front door they entered through was gone. In its place was a solid wall. They tried other exits. All blocked. Doors that should have opened didn't. The building was locked in on itself. The explorers began to argue, scared and desperate. They tried to stay calm, but the building seemed to respond to their fear. The lights flickered again. The air grew colder, and the whispers grew louder. One of them screamed. They all turned to see a figure standing at the end of the hallway. A woman. Her face was pale and wet, like she had been crying. Her eyes were dark and empty. She wore a hospital gown that was stained and torn. She moved slowly, as if she was tired. She looked directly at them and said, "You shouldn't be here." Then she raised her hand and pointed. Not at them. At the wall? The wall began to shake. A low rumble filled the room. The building seemed to breathe. The explorers ran. They didn't stop until they were outside. When they looked back, the building looked normal again. Just an old hospital in the dark. But the story didn't end there. A few weeks later, one of the explorers went missing. No trace, no sign of struggle. Just gone. The others stopped talking about the place, but they all admitted something privately. When they ran out that night, they heard one last sound. A whisper from inside the building. Come back. Real haunted places in the USA aren't haunted because of myths. They are haunted because of what happened there, and because the people who died there never left. If you ever visit an abandoned hospital, or any place that feels too quiet, remember some buildings keep their secrets, and some buildings keep their victims. Because the real horror isn't the ghosts. It's the places that still want you to stay.